find out, okay, now we can test things. And so we actually are really blessed to have that, because they can actually dive deeper every year than they normally would be able to if they were trying to pick us up as a new client. So we have gone through that process. We actually went out to bid on that, and we had several people come in, and it was pretty apparent through that process that we're getting a great value and we're getting great auditing done. And so we want to thank you and your team for that, but especially for our audit committee. Anna puts in just a boatload of time and energy. And then, of course, like I said, James and Dave, who have just decades of experience doing audits, both in, well, at the bank for 40 or something. So huge talent there. We were all looking for these things. Page 179 of the packet actually talks about all four of the. They say that it's basically an unmodified opinion is the best possible outcome you can have, which means you have there was no findings. It was a clean audit basically. So, anyway, I just wanted to give my 2 cents and some of the time we've spent with this. This is kind of just the official presentation of what's been months and months in the making. So, thanks for letting me do that, Mayor.
Well, we appreciate you, Councilmember Hunter. I mean, with all the years of experience, you've got plenty of your own. And so it's a great team, and thank you. Yeah. And really, it's a culmination of even the department heads. It's the very process and how we spend sacred taxpayer funds, and so it's a team effort. But it's led out by you, Anna. We know that. Thank you. So with that being said, if there's no other questions, I would accept a motion.
Mayor, I would move to accept the fiscal year ended June 30th, 2024 audited and annual financial statements.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember Hunter, second by Councilmember Holly. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Okay. Now, item number 2 is a presentation on the findings of the park tax funds audited for fiscal year ending June 30th, 2024. We'll give you back.
Just do the disbursements from all the entities that receive the park tax funds. We looked at their financial reports related to the grant, and then we looked at their controls, and we found two findings with regards with Live American Fork and the Friends of American Fork Library Grant. So really the findings are two. So those are the procedures that we did, and then the next page would be the findings. Yep, so it's the lack of control. So really it's the 2 expenditures, one from each entity, lacking of supporting documentation. So without that backup or supporting documentation, we can't determine if the expenses were for that park tax fund, and if it was spent appropriately, or if it was spent according to the park tax fund. So, and that resulted in findings for those 2 entities. And the reason we talk about controls is it's what dictates our procedures. And if the city has good controls, say for example from the city level, then they can dictate those controls down to all of these entities who receive the park tax funds, and then that's going to hopefully enforce better controls on what their expectations are. So those are those 2 findings.
And maybe I'll just add another thing here, that just not to pontificate, but it's one of those things that we have implemented ourselves. Again, Anna and her team, the audit committee felt strongly that this was something that we wanted to kind of take on ourselves. It's not necessarily required, but I think it is in good stewardship of the tax funds that we are, entrusted to manage and oversee. Last year we had a few that were a little challenging to get documentation for, and I think setting the standard this year or last year, and now it's progressing. And so here we find 2 opportunities for us to improve with those that are receiving those funds, and I think it's the best practice. And I appreciate that we're taking that, and I loved, as I read through this, the top-down approach that it talks about in having setting the expectation at the city level and at our level, And the expectation is, no, if you're using the funds, whatever it is, whether it's, park tax or whether it's, senior citizen funds or whatever it is, we're going to make sure that those are being utilized in the way that they're intended to. Federal grants, state grants, these things, local grants through park funds, we're going to make sure they're used wisely and appropriately. And just want to say thanks for going through it and continuing. I think we're continuing to elevate the bar for those that are receiving those grants so that they're also becoming better in the process. So, and thanks to them for those, because it's not easy. Some of these are kind of bootstrap organizations, and it takes some time for them to make sure that they're crossing their T's and dotting the I's and making sure that you do have a supporting document.
As part of the recipients, and so it was the city and the cultural organizations to return the finding of $1,937. So they returned that funding to the city as part of that finding. So just want to let you know the update.
I just think it's a wonderful thing because it should help them from day one to prepare for an audit. So it should, it just sets a good standard. So, any questions that the council has while we're talking about our financials statements? Okay, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thanks for coming. You're welcome to stay, and we would understand if you leave. So, okay. Item number 3 is a review and action on the appointment of David Bean to the Parks and Recreation Committee with a term ending of 2029.
Mayor, I'd move to approve the appointment of David Bean to the Parks and Recreation Committee with a term ending in 2029.
Okay, we have a motion by Councilmember Taylor,
Second.
second by Councilmember Holly. Any discussion on the motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Okay, item number 4 is a review and action on an ordinance approving the vacation of a public utility easement located at 498 North 900 East as part of Ellen Subdivision Plat A. This was part of our public hearing. Any questions, council?
Mayor, I move to adopt the ordinance approving the vacation of a portion of public utility easement, Ellen Subdivision Plat A, located at 498 North 900 East.
We have a motion by Councilmember John,
Second.
second by Councilmember Taylor. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, we'll call for a vote. Councilmember Holly,
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll,
Aye.
Councilmember John,
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
All right, item number 5 is a review and action on a contract for tree care services with primary, secondary, and tertiary options for the city. We have our arborist here. If we need to bring him up, I'll keep you right there unless it's needed. Is there any questions that we have on this contract?
Mayor, I did talk to Derek and make sure that they were listed correctly. And Diamond Tree Experts is primary, Arbor Plus is secondary, and TreeWise is tertiary. But we didn't call it out in the motion. Do we need to specify that in the motion, Heather?
It wouldn't hurt, I don't think, yeah.
Okay.
Do it.
Well, then I will move to approve the mayor signed contracts with Diamond Tree Experts as primary, Arbor Plus as secondary, and TreeWise as tertiary to provide tree care services to American Fork City.
Second.
We have a motion by Councilmember John, second by Councilmember Holly. Any discussion on this motion? All right, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Hunter,
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll,
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor,
Aye.
Councilmember Holly,
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Item number 6 is a review and action on a contract with Axon Enterprises Incorporated for the provision of Cradle Point devices for the department's 32 Axon Fleet in-car camera. This is better known as your dash cam. Any questions?
Mayor, I'd move to approve the contract with Axon Enterprise Incorporated for the provision of Cradle Point devices for the department's 32 Axon fleet in-car cameras.
Okay, I have a motion by Councilmember Taylor,
Second?
second by Councilmember Hunter. Any discussion on this motion? Right, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Item number 7 is a review and action on awarding of the contract for the fiscal year 2025 road rehabilitation project on 100 West from 300 South to 700 South. A much-needed little stretch of road. It's going to get worse before it gets better, but it's going to be good when we're done. So, any questions the council has?
I don't have my mic, but is it gonna be, are we gonna have it closed? Will it be able to stay open during construction?
It's going to have to. I don't know. I'm just saying it's.
You heard the mayor saying, that's it.
Yeah.
It's full depth versus
We,
this one.
we can do back roads.
There's probably going to be times where it's going to be closed, if I had to guess. I mean, they're going to start off with utility work, and they can probably flag and get folks around, but when it comes time to actually do the full depth road, we got to bring out all that material and put it back, it's probably going to be closed. But it'll have to be closed in sections, because we can't just close the whole thing, restrict access. So folks will have to get in and out as they are having to get through there, but we should be able to at least go to the west and come around and come down
Sure,
200.
sure.
So it shouldn't be,
Okay.
it'll be impactful, but not as bad as the roundabout that we had at 200 South.
Totally, yeah, we learned that. I don't know if we need to do any sort of communication maybe about it. You guys
Yeah.
are already on it. Okay,
Yeah,
sounds good.
Yeah, there's actually a PI component, so that the
Okay, good.
contract will have public involvement. so
Awesome, okay,
that's
that's
good.
what I didn't see anything like that in the contract, so thank you, that was basically my question.
Okay.
And this will be completed before we do the next roundabout on 300?
It'll be at the same time. No, just kidding. No, yeah, we haven't even had the design ready to go for that one yet. We're about 90% ready to go, so we'd still be a ways out. Likely, I think, from the retreat, I think it sounds like we try and push that back possibly till next year to make sure we get Auto Mall and this done, and then we could proceed with the other one, try and get something done before we start another one and just blow the whole area up. Unless you guys want to do it all at once and just.
Just kind of going along with the communication piece, and what the mayor had said is like, this is a road that a lot of people have been asking about. And so I don't think, when we do the communication, it's not just like, hey, we're going to shut down the road for a little bit. It's something like, hey, you've been asking for this. A lot of people have been asking for this. We're finally getting to this road, and it's going to be great and everything like that. So I think could be a nice positive spin for this communication when it does go up. Because as I said, a lot of people have been asking about this stretch of road to get worked on for a while now.
Correct.
Yeah, it's much needed, for sure. Okay, any more questions? All right.
Sam, thanks for prioritizing it. I know it takes a lot. Dave and I talked about it. Well, we've all talked about it. I don't want to put it on one or two of us. It's everyone. This is something we talk about every time we get together. But these roads are critical, and thanks for doing everything you can to make sure we get it going.
You're welcome.
And then it's to note, it's not just the surface of the road, it's everything underneath it.
Yes.
Right.
So, it takes time.
This should be easy. You have to trial by fire on that section of 200 South and roundabout. This should be a piece of cake. then.
Exactly.
Well, that just jacked that up now.
All right, council?
Mayor, I move that we accept the bid submitted by Geneva Rock Products for construction of the FY 2025 road rehabilitation project, 100 West, 300 South, and 700 South improvements in the amount of $1,922,063.50, and approve the construction contract as presented in addition to a project construction and engineering contingency of $190,000 to be held by the city.
Have a motion by Councilmember Holly.
Second.
Second by Councilmember Taylor. Any discussion on this motion? Okay, I will call for a vote. Councilmember John?
Aye.
Councilmember Carroll?
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor?
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter?
Aye.
Councilmember Holly?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Item number 8 is review and action on a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding with Strata and Centracom. There's a lot of talk about this. This is really a good step forward with two incredibly good companies. that we are going to make our city better and update it. So any questions that the council has at this time? And we're not too shabby ourselves, especially David. He's become quite an expert in his own right, so.
I think my only question is, what would be our next step after this? Would it be a contract?
Yeah, there's several agreements that we need to tie down, and so our next step would to be finalize those together with Strata and Centricom, and then those will come back to the council.
Okay.
I just want to point out that Heather did an amazing job pulling all of this together. Her expertise in the telecom world was very beneficial for us, so thank you, Heather, for all your work. And she worked right through an illness in order to prepare all the documents for us, so she's a trooper.
All right. I'm excited. Okay, any other questions?
Mayor, I'd move to approve the resolution reaffirming the city's commitment and obligation to develop and provide a citywide fiber optic network, and authorize the mayor to enter into an amended memorandum of understanding between the city, Centricom, and Strata Networks.
Second.
You have a motion by Councilmember Taylor, second by Councilmember Holly. Any discussion on this motion? All right, I will call for a vote. Councilmember Carroll.
Aye.
Councilmember Taylor.
Aye.
Councilmember John.
Aye.
Councilmember Holly.
Aye.
Councilmember Hunter.
Aye.
Okay, item number 9, adjournment. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A motion by Councilmember John,
Second?
second by Councilmember Taylor. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, we stand adjourned. Thank you.